This past week, I was so close to hitting 100% per trade accuracy. I traded 16 times and 15 out of those 16 were successful, giving me an accuracy rate of 94%. And so make sure to stick around and watch this entire video because in it, we're fully breaking down the strategies and trades I got into to hit these results. You don't want to miss it. What's up team, it's John and we're back today so you can improve your trading game. Once again, like I said in the intro, I hit 94% this past week. I only lost one time out of 16 trades, and regardless of what anyone says at this point, this futures system and strategies are certainly profitable considering the sample size. And so before we teach you all of that though, if you want to take a look and help support our channel, you can hit the like, hit the sub button below, and you can also go check out the Top Step trading programs in futures. The Top Step programs are a way for futures traders to potentially get funded as proprietary traders. With an 80% profit split, new and experienced traders can work their way on proving themselves, and once they do, they get funded $30K up to over $100K to make money in futures. It's a really great way for, like I said, new and experienced traders to try futures, and if you want to check it out and help support your boy here, I'll include a link for that in the description. Now with all of that said, let's take a look at the system and strategies.
Okay, so like I said in last week's video, I do have a very profitable futures system at this point. It's mostly a scalping system that I take advantage of momentum in the S&P 500 using the E-mini specifically. Now it's worked really well and I got really excited this week because I was pushing closer and closer to 100% total accuracy this week, meaning I didn't have any losing trades at all. And all the way up till Friday, I had almost hit that mark, but I did get into one losing trade, giving myself an accuracy rate this week of just over 92%. And I'm pretty pumped about that accuracy rate, but honestly, I can't lie that I really was looking forward to titling this video 100% accuracy in some way or another. Still, I still got to be pretty stoked with going 14 out of 15 green trades, and the future system obviously works here. It's something I've been working on for the last few months, and you can see the results here and see just how well it legitimately works, to be honest. And for me, in the next step with futures in this overall system is that I do need to scale up my sizing a little bit more. In the beginning of the trading combine, I took pretty decent size until I broke about $1,000 in profit, and then once I had that profit locked in, I did scale down as to not lose that profit and kind of give it back to the market. And I usually started trading just one contract per trade after that, making anywhere between $30 to $50 per trade. Now, it's worked pretty well, but there are a few things that I want to go over in this video specifically, detailing how I was able to hit this accuracy rate with the different strategies that I used. And so in this video specifically, we're going to be going over many of the different strategies I use using the actual trade examples from the trades I got into. Okay, so as you get ready to scalp and you really get ready for your trading day following your system, you need to have the right mindset. Remember guys, scalping is a very short-term trade. And so what you want to do is you want to wait and be disciplined enough to wait for the right setups and for the momentum to actually show up. The market is not always volatile and there's not always going to be favorable plays to get into. And you have to wait for the good trades to show up. If not, it's going to drag your system down. Another thing you really want to keep in mind is keeping your trades short. Sure, if you sell quickly, you're sometimes going to miss larger moves, but your accuracy rate should compensate for it if it's a winning scalping system. One of the ways I'm able to maintain a 92 or 93% accuracy rate is because I'm waiting for those A+ setups and then I'm selling quickly once I'm in the profit. That's really the key to my system here, so let's take a look at the actual examples of this system to begin with. Okay, so the first one I want to go over today is this low of the day short on the SPY that I traded on the E-mini, and you can see some major levels that we broke under and some downward momentum that we got because of it. I love to attack that range between the VWAP and the low of the day, and so when we get those really strong breaks like this and we actually break the previous low of the day, there's usually a lot of momentum to attack with scalping trading strategies, and that's exactly what I'm doing here. Really, another thing I'm doing here is simply attacking the range on the downside between 342 and 341.50. You can see it pretty easily on this chart as well. Once this one breaks that previous low of the day, I let it consolidate some, and I also analyze major levels beneath me. That way, I can try to get out before we actually hit those major levels, keeping it very simple and quick, and that's exactly what I did here. And so remember to always maintain awareness in the trade you get into. In this next trade, I really just took advantage of a downward trending stock. You can see it consistently put in lower highs, confirming that it was in a downward intraday trend. And so when it broke under the purple VWAP line and pulled back to it, I love shorting into that area. It's usually a really solid support and resistance line, and so when we broke that previous low of the day and got that nice rejection down to the light blue previous closing price here, it was just a really easy momentum trade for me to catch, get in, and get out. Another thing that I'm always aware of, just like the last example, is support or resistance beneath me. That way I can try to get out of these type of trades before they potentially bounce at those levels, and I can take my money and run. A lot of traders hold on to these type of trades too long and it ends up backfiring on them, and so I'm always trying to sell quickly, take my money and be done with it, and then start looking for my next trade on that particular day. This next example here is a really easy one on understanding a specific trend and how that relates to the VWAP. You can see the market maintaining below the VWAP area, and that's what we're going to look to attack. And so we can identify resistance levels above us, and then when the market starts to push back up to those levels, we can assume it's going to reject and short into those type of moves. That's one of my favorite things to do here, and you can see the range that we're attacking. You can see the previous closing price as the light blue line, and as we move up to a whole dollar of 345, we can assume that we're going to reject there, and that's what I ultimately did here with this scalp. As we move closer and closer to the previous closing price, that's when I start to cover into this position, and it just works really well. This next example is very similar to the last one we went over. You can see a lot of confirmed resistance above us, but in this case we're looking for it to test that previous low of the day and then give us a small bounce to short into using that resistance and also using a whole dollar. The whole dollar we're using in this case is 345, and especially when we get a really nice upwick that indicates selling pressure, that's where we decide to jump in here. Once we get that, you can see a really nice flush down to test that previous low of the day, and the great thing here is that you can take advantage of the range, in this case between 345 and 344.75, but you can also write it down if it does in fact break that previous low of the day as well. This will happen some percentage of the time, and it's really nice to take advantage of it when it presents itself, because a lot of scalping is just taking what the market gives you. After it breaks down here though, you don't want to be stubborn, and you want to make sure you take your profit and get out of these type of trades, especially before we hit any major support or resistance levels. This last one is another really good example of spotting resistance that we can short into. In this case, you can also see the whole dollar of around 342, but there's also the 341.50 level that we're testing here. And so as we move up to test that half dollar of 341.50, we start to add to our position, anticipating that we're going to pull all the way back down to test that previous low of the day. A lot of trading, and especially scalping like this, is just identifying strength or weakness, and so you can see some lower highs here that we're really attacking for this range. We had a high originally at around 342.10 or 15, and then a lower high at 341.90. And so once we form that range, and we also have that resistance via that 341.60 level, we can understandably short into that and try to ride the range down to that previous confirmed low at 341.20 where it's moving now. Once it hits that, we can either wait for it to break or simply cover the position. Either one is fine, and I think that part is personal preference. But again, remember to understand where the weakness and strength comes in and how to profit from the range that forms around it. That's really what we're doing here, and again, it just works really well.
Anyways, team, that's it for this one. Remember, if you want to check out Top Step and try to get funded as a proprietary futures trader, I'll include that link in the description. You can also go check out Trader Mike's Discord, which is a super active penny stock Discord with a lot of talented traders helping new traders out and hanging out every single day. You'll see me in there sometimes, and you can also reach out to me in my very own Discord. Both of them are completely free, and I'll include those links in the description. But yeah, anyways, guys, good luck in the markets. Remember to take it slow, especially if you're entering new markets themselves. Good luck. We'll see you all next time. Hit that like and subscribe button, and have a good day, team.